Happy Hockey Night, hockey fans. If you've been watching along tonight, you've been seeing me on Instagram, get my Insta post, my Insta flex on, because it's Dan K Show Late Night Edition. We wanted to wait as long as we could to get as many games in as possible. It's Chicago week, it's Rockets Rangers week, it's all kinds of week. Time to get to my three things. Let's just get to the show. Dan K Show coming at you. I elbowed Lucas. It is time for my three things. They didn't send me to the box. I elbowed him, but he didn't catch it. We all know when that happens, and it drives us nuts. Sorry, Lucas. I'm not heading to the box. Looks like this one stays clean. Thing number one, the Florida Junior Blades hate me. They hate Dan K. Do you really? No, they don't. They don't. They don't. They can't, right? The Florida Junior Blades said that they like Lucas better. And if anybody knows Dan K, he's very full of Dan K. He loves Dan K. I'll earn your trust back, Florida Junior Blades, I promise. But that brings us to thing number two. Why did he like Lucas more? Because Lucas is going to the Windy City. Lucas takes Chi-Town this weekend. He's going to have deep dish pizza without me, and he's going to have his fill of big-time hockey with 2 games of the week. We'll talk about it later in the show. You got to wait for that one. Big Chi-Town reveal, big Chi Showcase talk, Chi Showcase. You got to make sure it's an S on Showcase. That's when it becomes a showcase. Thing number 3, revenge of the power rankings. We go through all this trouble to make the power rankings, and it looks like everybody is just revolting against it. Number 1, we had some great love, some great hate. I love the chirping that comes through with this. And then you see a team like the Northern Cyclones go on a 4-0 weekend. Let's start there. Let's start the show. How about the Northern Cyclones, Lucas, starting 4-0 this weekend? A 4-0 weekend.
Well, you can't get much better than that, Dan. I mean, not only are you undefeated, but you're undefeated throughout 4 games, and some of those performances were very dominant.
Dominant performances. So let's all go back. Let's rewind, because the Northern Cyclones chirped me pretty hard, and they got a ton of likes and retweets on this thing. In the dozens here. In the dozens of chirp towards Dan K's power rankings. What I will say to you, I mentioned it on the show, rewind. They hadn't played enough games yet to get in my power rankings. They're only 2-1. How am I didn't get a good enough look at the roster yet. But then look what they do. They beat 3 of their 4 wins against top 10 power ranking squads. They beat the Rockets 3-0, the Hitmen 4-1, the Aviators 4-0, and then they beat the Philadelphia Hockey Club. Look in net here. Nick Howard 4-0-0, 3 shutouts and a 1.09 goals against. Even better number, a .968 saves percentage. What happens when a guy's in the 9.6s in saves percentages?
Well, at that point, it proves statistically kind of what maybe his teammates have been saying about him, what his coach has been saying about him, what he's been believing this whole time, which is that's a lights-out goaltender.
Lights out.
Right? When you're talking like .96 at that point, it's somebody who is not just difficult to score on when you're 2-on-1, 1-on-1 opportunities, but that's even a goaltender that's taking into account that puck luck, that weird bounce, that clearing the trash.
Yep.
And the difference between a good goaltender and a good goaltender who is strikingly good with the fundamentals.
And again, it's a difference between a great goaltender, I'd say, at 9.68, a great goaltender, and a goaltender that might have a lot of defenseman support, right? This is a guy who obviously, this is a fully detailed Northern Cyclones roster. They've got it all, right? They're the Lamborghini of teams here after this weekend, after watching just what they did to some top talent at the Cyclone Showcase. They said, hey, everybody, come into town. We'll treat you to a great weekend. Nope, 4-0 on the weekend. That is not really hospitality. If I went to that person's house and they said, come enjoy some home cooking, nope, you're not eating it all. I'm eating all the food. I wouldn't be as happy, but in this sense, when you put it in the hockey terms, you don't put it in inviting someone in their house that way is bad.
Right.
In hockey terms, absolutely incredible. The Cyclones put the league on notice. They put the country on notice. They put scouts on notice. And a couple guys to look at. Nicholas Brettschneider, 6'6" and 12 on the year. 12 points on the year. He's tied at 12 points with Guillaume Bose. This guy is speaking up. He's like the speaker system right here because he's loud, proud, and he's got 4 goals and 8 assists on the year. How about the dueling Brendans, too, each with 3 goals apiece? This team just does it from all over. And 2 D-men with 6 points, Lucas.
Yeah, and Brettschneider and Bose, they're coming out there with some points on the power play, too.
Yep.
You know, Brettschneider has 2 power play goals, 1 power play assist, Bose has 1 power play goal, 3 power play assists, and Schultz has 3 power play assists, hasn't found it out on the power play. That's an extremely effective power play unit. We saw at the Hitmen Showcase how important that can be to finding those wins, right? Taking advantage of your opportunities on the power play. When you get those opportunities, not letting them pass you by, you know, it's like, how can you let an opportunity where your upper man slip you by in a league as competitive as this? You really can't.
And you want to talk about taking advantage of opportunities. This team had an opportunity to invite the best of the best from the Premier into their hometown, and they took advantage. They put up a show. They put a good schedule together, 4 big-time wins. This is a team, each month we're doing the power rankings. If they keep on this streak, they're going to end up high up in these things if they continue playing this way. And those 2 D-men I mentioned with 6 points, Samuel Wood and Hunter Ross, absolutely great start for the Northern Cyclones. Let's look at another Premier team I didn't put in the top 10 who reached out to me this week and said, hey, don't forget about the Hudson Havoc. They're raising havoc, causing havoc in the Midwest Premier. How about the Hudson Havoc here, Lucas? They beat the Minnesota Blue Hawks on the road 4-2. Big time 4-2 victory against the Minnesota Blue Hawks, an organization that wins no matter what. This isn't the only crazy win we're going to talk about in the Minnesota area this weekend, but let's talk about this Hudson Havoc team. 4-2. They've split with the Moose. They've split with the Rum River Mallards. They've split with this now they've beaten this Blue Hawks team, and they're 4-2. They also beat the Caston Vipers.
Well, you know, and it's great when you look at this division, Dan, and you start to look at, you know, the points totals per skater, right? Because it's not just about points totals. You know, we just looked at the Northern Cyclones, right? And you had some guys who were up at like 12 points, 13 points, you know, up in there. But you've got guys on the Havoc, 8 points, 7 points, 6 points, but everybody's getting involved.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how many goals you score, as long as you score more goals than the other team. You guys can take that one to the bank. I will put money on that statement right there. But you have a team that is working together. They are supporting what other players are doing. Dan's still trying to work that out. You can take a break. I'll explain it to you after.
Okay. Oh,
I'll explain it to you after the show.
Okay.
You got guys like Ben Lamb, Max Wigfield. You know, these are the top point getters on the team. They're active not just in even strength. They're active on the power play. And Ben Lamb, the top point getter on the team, no goals, 8 assists.
Ben Lamb, more like a wolf this year. This guy is a wolf in sheep's clothing because comes out, he makes things happen. You see this Hudson Havoc team, and you know, everybody's so used to the Moose out there now after last year, the Blue Hawks, the River Kings, Dells Ducks, these teams that were used to being real tough. And the Havoc are a team that's just waltzing into town and taking it to the big boys here. They are absolutely grabbing W's. Very excited to see the Hudson Havoc. And also I saw some pretty cool hats that they're selling as I put my hand here and talk louder so they can hear. We love hats. We got our own. We could always do a tradesy here with the Hudson Havoc. We'd love to do that. Finally, my last topic here in the Premier to talk about, the Minnesota Mullets. And they go into a weekend series here, coming off a win against the Minnesota Blue Hawks. They beat the Blue Hawks. They come into a weekend with a very tough team, a team I put at number 4 in the power rankings, and they get out the buzz cutters and they shave the Moose. They absolutely sweep the Moose, take it to them, a 2-1 win and a 6-5 win, eke out 2 big-time victories, one at home, one on the road, against the Moose team that is now shivering cold after that shaving by the Mullets. The Mullets really sneak by these 2, get 2 big wins. How big is it to get these 2 close 1-goal wins? How big are 1-goal wins for the confidence level?
Well, they really boost your confidence level because you know you can like hang in there. You can hang in there when the chips are down and you have to pull out a win. You have that opportunity and you can do it. You know, and we always talk about, sometimes you say like, oh, these early season games don't matter as much, right? You just got to keep it close. The individual games don't matter. They definitely matter.
Oh, they matter.
They absolutely matter. And I love the way the Mullets are winning these games too. So if you have been following the show, you know that Dan and I are huge fans of the NHL series of video games. And Dan usually takes about 50 or 60 shots a game and he'll score like 1 or 2 goals. And I sometimes will score 2 or 3 goals on like 7 shots, right? So it annoys him to no end. And I'm looking at the Minnesota Mullets right now. They scored in the first game against the Moose. They scored 2 goals, 1 goal in the second, 1 goal in the third, on 20 shots. The Moose, 30 shots and 1 goal. Let's go to that next game, though. Let's go to the second game against the Mullets and the Moose. Remember, 6-5, final score. Minnesota Mullets put up 4 goals in the first period on 13 shots. So the Mullets are making the most of their opportunities. They're lining up and they're getting good quality looks at the goaltender. I'll tell you what, Dan, no matter how talented of a goaltender you have,
yep,
when it's one-on-one and a clear shot to the net, sometimes it feels like a coin flip.
Oh, it really does. And you look at Nate Holm here, 9 goals, 4 assists on the year. You look at Tyler Kulis, 2 goals, 9 assists. These guys are the mirror images, right? The guy who creates, the guy who scores. You have to have both. You've got to have balance. Then I look down the list and I look at a guy, start spreading the news, folks. Because Nico Sinatra put up a goal this weekend, ended up in the top 3 stars. Dan Bradley from the Minnesota Mullets put that together. Great job by Dan. Check out his work. And, you know, us Dans stick together, by the way. If you're named Dan, I'm going to stick by your side because I've been called, every time I go to, like, a restaurant and I'm asked it, hey, what's your party here? And I'm like, oh, it's Dan Party of 3. Every time they think I say Dane. I don't know what how does my, I don't get the accent. Let's get back to hockey. But Dane is not my name. It's Dan. It's the Dan K Show, not the Dane K Show. Let's get back to this. But Nico Sinatra, man, this guy puts up a goal. He could be a big-time decision maker here late in the year on how they're going to play. He can get very involved. And their goaltending, like you said, very good. Is premier level. Absolutely shook itself up this weekend. I put together this, Lucas gets sick, and I take it upon myself to go out there and get these power rankings together, and I can't tell you how many hours I slaved over these things, getting these things put together, and these teams go out there and just boom, in one weekend. Next month's going to be crazy. November 1st power rankings release is going to be insane, insanity. Lucas, I don't know where we go next. I guess we go to Chicago?
Sounds good to me.
You are watching The Dan K Show. Everything USPHL. From the NCDC to the Premier and Elite Leagues. The Dan K Show with Dan K and Lucas Jones.
We're back, and it's time to talk Chicago Showcase. This is going to be an exciting one. Dan K, unfortunately, for the first time this year, is not going to be there. And this is my favorite showcase on the schedule on October 13th. Through the 9th. Does that make sense? Because I love Chicago. I love going out there. I love getting a deep dish. Outside of every other showcase, because I love them all equally, this Chicago Showcase is incredible. John Schwarz out there running this whole thing. An incredible job by him and his team. You're going to get to see Jim Denhollander out there. You might get to see Nick Roche of the Florida Eels. Frank Scarapacci's squad. We're going to get to see a lot of people. Well, Lucas will and I will vicariously through him. But let's get into this Chicago talk. Let's talk about it, Lucas. What are you going to have for the folks this week out there in Chicago?
We're going to have quite a bit. So the plan right now is to get out there and start talking to guys, start interviewing players. We're going to be featuring a lot of interviews on social media pages, on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. We're also going to have 2 game broadcasts. I'm going to be on Friday at 2:40 p.m., the Richmond Generals versus the Tampa Bay Juniors. I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to be at Canlan on Rink 3. Might even have a special guest broadcaster. You mentioned a couple of them. I don't want to say anything quite yet, but you might see some familiar faces if you tune into that one.
Also, remember the Richmond Generals Elite, #1 in the Dan K Show power rankings. So we're going to see what the Tampa Bay Juniors can do there. Those are 2 top 10 power ranking squads in the Elite he's going to have.
Exactly. I'm very excited for that game, and I have some time to do research. I have a 2.5-hour flight, although because of the time difference, I'm only technically in the air for an hour and a half. Is that how that works? The flight's only...
I'm still figuring out the goal math about the whole, if you score more goals than the other team, you win.
All right, well, we'll come back to that one, too. Add that to the list of things we'll come back to. Then Saturday, bright and early, well, not bright and early for hockey folks, but bright and early for a guy who just got on a plane the day before, at 12:20 p.m., Wisconsin Rapids River Kings versus the Florida Junior Blades, Canlan Ice Rink 2. I'm going to be at Canlan most of the time. You should come say hi. The Leaf Center, gorgeous facility. Jim Denhollander is going to be over there.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That's going to be a great one. You look at those 2 teams. Look at the River Kings and the Blades. First of all, the River Kings are one of the greatest mascots in junior hockey history.
Rowdy.
We met Rowdy. We know Rowdy well. Rowdy and I have a little bit of like a rivalry, I think, kind of going here. We both are kind of mascot-ish. I feel like I'm almost a human mascot. But I think we put that behind us. River Kings, Florida Blades. Let's talk about this Blades team. It's a team that gave me the crying, laughing face when they said they were a little hurt by the power rankings and them being left out. And I told them, Well, then let's go out there and get these Georges, these George W's, bring them home, and if you do that, you just may end up in that top 10 because we're doing one each month. And they said, challenge accepted.
Well, and we love them because they're active on social media. We love teams that are always active on social media. They send us clips.
Yep.
They're talking to us. They get in GIF wars with Dan all the time. It's a great time, and they've been really active this week. Actually, we had a couple people from the organization text me and say, "Oh, we heard a little rumor. We want to hear if it's true. Are you doing a game this weekend?" And I said, "Yes," and I am just as excited as you. I'm excited to see some of these players. Like we said, they got off to not a slow start. They got off to a late start.
Well, for their purposes, it's a slow start, right? 3 and 4 is not a normal Blade start. Mm-hmm. But that just what does that do for a coach like Todd Pocock? It just wakes him up. It motivates him. He gets better from it. This roster is going to win games. We know that. We know when Todd's behind a bench that there's W's to be had. This is a guy who, behind Lenny Childs, was the other man I had in my mind when I was thinking of who's going to coach my all-Dan K team. He turns this ship around. He may just end up on that team by the end of the year.
Definitely, and it's a great chance to get to see some teams up close and personal that we, don't really get to see a lot in some of these other showcases. Obviously, we'll be going down to the Florida showcase as well, so we'll get to, see all them down there. But to be surrounded by these Midwest teams, to get to talk to them, to get to interact with fans and their coaches, and we're hoping to have some great interviews from that. I'm hoping to record perhaps another coffee review while I'm out there. Last time, we were blown away by the coffee at both the Leaf Center and Canlan, because we drink a lot of coffee in a lot of different places. So we'll be adding that to the repertoire. We want to get a couple of those episodes banked before we start releasing them. But trying to pack a lot into 2 days, Dan. I don't know how I'm going to do it by myself.
It's a lot. He's going to be carrying a load. He's going to put the team on his back. That's what he's going to do. I got startled when he said surrounded by Midwest teams. I thought we were right now. And a lot of them are not happy because they weren't in my top 10 power ranking, so I got very scared for a second. But then you bring up the coffee. The coffee's incredible. Parents, everybody on site, coffee, especially at the Leaf Center, out of this world. Out period of period, this period, world, exclamation, exclamation, smiley face, fire sign, puck, puck, happy thumbs up.
And then siren, siren, siren.
Siren, siren, siren. 3 goals, that's a hat trick. And this weekend's going to be a hat trick. I can't wait to see what Lucas has for you. Then on Sunday, what does he do? He's coming back. He's coming back to Jersey, and we're meeting up in Bridgewater, New Jersey, at the Bridgewater Sports Arena for NJ Rockets, Connecticut Junior Rangers. I got a chance to do this game. It was a pay-for game. You had to pay to get in. But this time, it's free. Bring it in. Let's watch NJ Rockets, Connecticut Junior Rangers. This game was all about speed last time. The Rockets were in it to the very end. Every time the Rangers looked like they were going to run away with it, the Rockets came back. Both teams couldn't stay out of the penalty box either early in the game. Frustrating both coaches for sure.
Yeah.
This game's going to be fast, fun, and exciting. How do you feel about it?
I'm pretty excited because I love watching the fast style of hockey. And it does come with some penalties attached to it. Yeah. But when you're just kind of flying around the ice like that, stuff kind of happens, And I know that we made a decision amongst ourselves that we weren't going to pick games that we were on the broadcast for.
Yep.
And I think it's a good decision. We try to present these games as best as we can, but if you pay attention to the show, you'll know that the Connecticut Junior Rangers are kind of Dan's team, and the New Jersey Rockets are about 12 minutes from my apartment. So if there was ever,
boys.
Yeah, if there was ever a home team for Lucas P. Jones, it'd be the hashtag Bridgewater Boys, the New Jersey Rockets. So we're not necessarily taking sides. I'd like to say like they took their sides of us.
Yeah, really, and I know I every time I get a chance to talk to head coach Jim Henkel of the Connecticut Junior Rangers, it's just the work he does, the care he has for the players, and the way he talks behind the scenes. He's not a guy, he's not fake, right? He's a guy that he is who he is, and the players know who he is, and he cares about each and every guy in that team. He cares about each guy in the organization. He cares about the mites up to the NCDC, to the guys who have been gone for decades from this organization. He is an organization guy. He's a player guy. Gotta love a player's coach every time. 10 times out of 10, you take a player's coach. Then you look at the Rockets organization, and you see the development. You see what they do. It's on paper, folks. Check out the standings. They're tied for 3rd right now. Both of these teams tied for 3rd. It's on paper. It's there. The Rockets have done exactly what you need to do, and you see what that means as an organization. It means they care about the product. They care about the player development, and they've done it from top to bottom, from bottom to top. They've done it everywhere they needed to do it. These two organizations are stellar, and we can't wait. 1:30 p.m. puck drop on Saturday. That's Eastern time. He'll be in Central time with his games. We'll be in Eastern time with that one. 1:30 Eastern time puck drop. 1:15 starts the Hockey TV broadcast with our pregame show. 12:40 is what we're shooting for either a Facebook Live, or if the Wi-Fi at the rink doesn't work, something a little different. But it's going to be good. It's a must-watch, NCDC must-see matchup. Free game of the week on Hockey TV. We'll see you there. Lots coming at you this weekend. Welcome to the Empty Net. Welcome to the Empty Net, our favorite portion of the show, our favorite portion each and every week, where we get to talk to you. And I'm excited this week. We went to the Hitmen Classic. We got to do a bunch of games. One of my favorite games to do was Pittsburgh Vengeance, Syracuse Stars. Friday night special, 16U hockey. And it looks like we got a little love from Jonathan Locke, Syracuse Stars goaltender, who was absolutely stellar in net. Lucas, what do we have from him?
Well, we got a little video clip from him that we're going to throw up there, and he said, "Fantastic broadcast, pretty weird to hear my teammates being commentated over." You know, we love doing like all levels of this league, right? We'll do commentary for any level, for any team. You just got to reach out to us. And when I saw that the Vengeance, my adopted favorite name team, was going to be there, it's like, we got to do this game. We ended up being able to get on the 16U game. Great bunch of skaters on both sides in that game.
Absolutely fun to watch that game. Jonathan, seriously though, you give us the props. Props to you, man. I saw a couple great saves in that game. You made it fun for me. Good saves are fun to call as a play-by-play announcer. It was a good game. And now let's go to a good moment here. The Tampa Bay Juniors, they announced their assistant captain in a nice little video tribute here.
We're going to add an aide, an assistant captain this team. Gabe. Oh! Maybe he deserves it. He freaking works his ass off. He everything.
Elite forward Aiden Kennedy awarded the A here by head coach Garrett Strott. Absolutely great moment. The Strotts have such a good organization down there, such a great hockey family in the Tampa Bay area. Tampa Bay hockey alive and well. Scouts, check out this kid, Aiden Kennedy, with the A on the jersey, assistant captains. Let's go, I put it, hashtag recruit leaders.
Yeah, as the A for Aiden, as the A for assistant captain, I think the A's for both at this point. Nice to see, you know, the acknowledgement of what this kid can do on the ice. And another A for acknowledgement.
I wanted to give you that one.
I've got the alliteration going tonight. But yeah, nice to see that recognition, and you know, it's a nice moment that the juniors were able to put up on their Twitter feed.
Exactly, and then we talk about more here on the Twitter sphere. I did get chirped by the Northern Cyclones, and add on to the chirping, I got chirped by the Florida Blades. We talked about that in the open. They come out spitting hot fire here like Dylon, and it's a situation where they say they like Lucas Moore, and who comes riding in on their white horse to my defense, to the defense of Dan K, the USPHL. Absolutely love USPHL. Again, what do we say all the time? The best league in all the land, the best league in all of junior hockey, and the biggest organization in amateur hockey, an organization that cares about you from the moment you put a skate on for the first time to the last time you touch the ice. This is a cradle-to-college model, and you know what? They watch out for everybody. Even their host, Dan K, they put in Dan K, we trust, we love Dan K, and the Dan K Show, you know, the Dan K Show Twitter, I feel like Gritty might run our Twitter sometime. We did allow an intern process, and there was maybe or maybe not some time that Gritty was spending here with the Twitter, and he may still have access to it. After we fired Gritty, he moved on to the Flyers.
Yeah, well, we weren't really expecting him to land on his feet so quickly.
No.
But, you know, there he is, and we've got someone tweeting from the Dan K Show Twitter page, and yeah, I don't really know. We should probably change the password.
Yeah, it used to be Gritty is awesome,
Mm-hmm.
and oh, I just said it on the air. We should change it.
Now we
definitely have to change the password to the Dan K Show. Gritty is awesome. Is off the charts though,
Mm-hmm.
and Gritty, he may have landed on his feet with the Flyers, but then he fell back on his rear end there his first couple days out in the ice. So Gritty, good luck to you. Sorry the internship with the Dan K Show didn't work out, but it looks like all's well for you, and all's well for us, all's well for Lucas. He's heading to Chicago. Lucas, it's going to be all you, and it's going to be the Lucas J Show this weekend. What are your parting words? He's got nothing, but you know what I got for you? Next Thursday, this show is going live. We're doing a Facebook Live, the Dan K Show. We have a planned trip that we've had forever. It was a vacation trip, some fun, to go out to Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, and see a football game. Things turned into a little bit of hockey fun. The Kentucky hockey team found out that we were going, and they said, Dan, we're begging you, get on the mic here. And we said, we can get there. We love Kentucky hockey. We'll say go Cats a couple times. We'll do some Kentucky hockey. It's going to be fun. But also, Lucas, we're going to go Facebook Live out there from Lexington, Kentucky. We'll be Facebook Live, Lucas Jones, Dan K, and you got to be a part of the broadcast. These live shows are only fun if you're there. We need you tweeting to us, talking to us. We need you on the Facebook Live. You can write in, love, like, dislike, argue. We want to have a debate with you, the fans. We want to answer the questions you have. Facebook Live next Thursday. We're shooting at a 7:30 start, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Be there on Facebook Live. Dan K Show, the first live edition of the year. And this is the last thing I'm going to say before my closing. When Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night. We thank you for watching another week of the Dan K Show. We did it. Now what? You just go hop in your flight?
I mean, it feels like that.
Feels like that, right? Like you just go. But you got to edit this whole thing in like a 5-hour period.
Oh yeah, I have work tomorrow at noon. I actually have work in 12 hours, and it takes me about 18 hours to edit the show. So we're going to have to figure it out.
Math doesn't work out, but
No.
who needs math? I don't. I can't figure out any math problems.
I mean, I do. Math is my job, so I need it.
He needs math. I probably should have it, and all of you should have it at home because this is all about learning. Let's take it to the next level, and that education comes first.